Fingers crossed for their
So
films.
if you look at you, who's time for everything?
Hal, what do you want us to do?
I want you just to watch me and just not know that.
Okay.
All right, so thank you very much for coming. Today I'm going to be talking about how the 1987 film directed by Joel Schumacher, The Lost Boys, is the quintessential vampire movie of the 80s. So, it was filmed in 1987. It stars Kiefer Sutherland, Corey Haim, Corey Feldman, aka the Coreys, Diane Weiss, Ed Herman. These are all stars. It's the perfect combination of vampire horror and 80s culture. It is the quintessential 80s movie, vampire 80s movie. So first, the 1980s were a great time for vampire movies. According to IMDb.com, there were 16 vampire movies between 1983 and 1989. These all had big stars in them. Bill Paxton, Nick Cage, Jim Carrey, and David Bowie all starred in vampire movies in that time frame. Now, the 80s were ripe for vampire movies. It was a period of what we would call decadence. There's consistent economic growth, huge technological advancements, and a fear of foreigners during the Cold War, the fear of the Soviets. According to the Society article, or the Society journal Race Relations in the 80s by John Brennan, communities became more integrated during this time frame than they had in the decades before. We also see an increased sexuality in the media. The 24-hour news cycle began in 1980, which resulted in more advertising competition. So this period was very ripe for a vampire story. So this begs the question, what is it about vampire stories that we love? Well, we're obsessed. America is obsessed with the vampire. In a 2009 article in The Atlantic by Benjamin Carlson, he says that vampires, they equal our escape from technological change, and it reflects our ethnic anxiety. So what makes The Lost Boys so special? Well, The Lost Boys combines the sexiness of the 80s with timeless vampire lore. The core vampire posse, they're recently changed. They're still children of that time period, yet there seems to be a looming presence of something older. This dichotomy, which is the desire to resist change versus being powerless to stop that change, is very powerful, and it's part of what makes it so quintessential. Ultimately, though, this film is a story of seduction and maintaining American family values. Lucy, which is Michael and Sam's mom, is recently divorced. They moved from Phoenix to Santa Clara, in which Michael and Sam are not happy about this. The vampires, they seduce Michael, corrupting him, while the Frog Brothers, they seduce Sam on the side of righteousness. They want to destroy all vampires. So finally, this setup has pitched the brothers against each other. So in conclusion, The Lost Boys is the classic vampire story. It's set against the angsty backdrop of the late 80s. It fulfills the need of that time to retreat from technological advancements and ethnic tensions. It follows a typical American family that faces the challenge to its core values, which at a time when divorce rates were on the rise. And finally, it's just a cool movie with lots of 80s goodness that definitely deserves to be considered the quintessential 80s vampire film. Thank you.